Hey, start interview.
Great, let's dive right in. First question, tell me about yourself.
Hello, I am Debouncing, a full stack development from Delhi. Um, I completed my diploma in computer engineering from AIT, followed by my graduation in BCA. After that, I joined IntelliPath full stack development course, and now I am focused on MERN Stack development. For development, I use React and Tailwind for my front end, Node.js and Express for my backend, and for my database, I use MongoDB. One of my personal project is personal finance tracking app and that extract data from PDF and so categorize spending through visual representation on dashboard. Right now, I am focusing on improving my backend skill and work on enhancing my communication, aiming for a full-time role in full stack development.
Thank you for that. Now let's move on to the next one. What's the difference between a closure and lexical scope?
Lexical scope means a function can access the variable or variable from its parent functions based on where function is written. And on the other hand, closure closure is a technique, closure a feature in JavaScript where an inner function can access the variable of its outer function even after the outer function has finished executing. For in simple, we can say that lexical scope is a rule and closure is the result of that rule. And we use closures for data hiding, um, callbacks, and event handling.
Understood. Now let's move to the third question. Could you explain debouncing and give an example?
A debouncing is a technique that delays the execution of a functions until the user stop performing an actions uh, for a specified time. An example of debouncing is for a search bar where whenever we have to type any words and instead of making uh, API calls on every word we change, we wait for a specific time. And debouncing is mostly used in search bar and autocomplete. It used performance by reducing unnecessary API calls.
All right, let's keep going. Next up, tell me about state management in React.
State management is React is used to manage data in React component, and for different types of application we use different type of state management. For example, in a simple application, we use state hooks in a component, and in a multi-component application, um, when a multi-component application requires same data, we use context API that share data across multiple components without passing probes manually at every level. And for the large and complex application, we use Redux. Basically, the state management uh, is used for improving React performance and updated UI on every change a user can perform.
Got it. Now let's tackle the fifth one. How do worker threads compare to child processes?
Worker thread and child processes both are used to improve Node.js performance, but their purpose is different. A worker thread is used for CPU-intensive tasks like image processing and for heavy calculations, and and worker thread is used worker thread is used within the same process along with the main thread, and it shares memory with another threads. On the other hand, child process is a separate executing. It has their main thread and event loop or say, and their different memories. Child process is used whenever we have to perform a task separately from main process. Child process and main process uh, are used by Node.js by using child process module and worker thread module.
Thank you for that comparison. Now, last question. What's the difference between sharding and indexing?
Sharding and indexing both are used to improve MongoDB and used to improve performance in database, but their purpose is different. And for indexing is used to search data faster by creating a special data structure on a specific field. On the other hand, sharding is used to divide a large amount of data, a large database into a smaller parts called threads, and is sorting and storing that parts from a different servers. It is basically used whenever we have to scale our database or add more users in that.
All right, that wraps up the questions. I'll wait a few seconds, then I'll give you my feedback.
Please do.
Overall, that was a solid effort. I'd say you'd be around a 7 out of 10. You showed good technical knowledge, though some answers were slightly repetitive or could be more structured. Communication was clear, but you can slow down for smoother phrasing. In terms of confidence, you sounded sure of your concepts. Now, for improvement, tighten examples like debouncing, and clarify distinctions more directly like sharding versus indexing. Keep practicing, and you'll refine those answers.
Okay, thank you.